okay, that's an insurance one. Not allow you to put insurance on the child for a permanent, you know,
story so I have to start recording. I don't get this, but yeah.
He said, okay. So we sat there.
I can turn it down a little bit. Actually got a fuck storyboard. It's doing it on its own.
Judge is like, so basically, we were in court for 4 hours. So the judge is like, okay, so basically, this is what we're looking at. He said, we're looking at a few things. He said, one, this custody's crazy. He said, God only knows where the custody went. He said, second, he said the lawyer thing. He said, you should have had right to counsel in that case. He said, he told me, he's like, you should have had right to counsel in that.
Yeah.
Anyway, the judge looks over at them and he goes, can somebody explain to me why they don't believe why they believe they shouldn't have to pay him this money that he spent out of his pocket? The judge is like, I'm really anxious to find out why. He said, if this gentleman only took her in to help him out, well, apparently the parents were in jail, then they're responsible. He said, so that he told the lady from state, he's like, you ordered that this child had to go through these programs and do these things, which were done. He said, so why should he have to pay out of his pocket for it?
No braces, unless it's so lucky.
The judge is like, I don't understand why you think you're not responsible. He said, apparently if you were better parents and kept a better eye on your child, he said this probably would have never happened. You wouldn't be here today. He said, but you didn't. And he said, the fact that you're even thinking that you need to, that, and because of the state screwing up, he got away with it. Yeah, he got away with it. That's how they got out of jail. Yeah, the state.
So funny.
Yeah, the state screwed it up, and that's how he got out. Anyway, the judge is like, you ought to pay him the money. The judge is like, it ain't your responsibility to raise your kid.
I'm for real.
He said, it ain't up to him to raise your kid. He said, the gentleman helped you out. He said, I don't think the gentleman was actually helping you out. He was trying to make your daughter have a better life. But he said at this point, he said that the child was given back. He said, that's fine. He said, but he said that the child needs to be moved away from that area. He said, why is the gentleman in jail? And this is where it comes out. And
here we go, motherfucker.
I told the judge, I said, because the state messed up, and he got released.
Ooh.
So the judge turns and looks at me and goes, oh, like the state hasn't screwed up before. He's like, you're on a roll today, man, aren't you? He said, you're just full of screw-ups.
Jerry Springer.
The judge is like, I'm going to take a 5-minute break here. I'll be right back.
I bet you are.
So we were sitting there. They couldn't talk to us or nothing. Anyway, so the judge left. I'm assuming he's going to check on he's checking on the fact that why that kid is still living next door to that guy.
Yeah.
And the state lady's over there like,
I get it.
so the judge ain't in there. The state lady's talking to the attorney and the family, the parents.
Yeah.
And she's talking about how, well, she's like, he's supposed to move out. He's not supposed to be there. She's like, he's supposed to move out. Bullshit. Supposed to move out. Good job, lady.
I'm for real, bitch.
Anyway,
Bitch ass mofo.
So we're sitting there. About 5 minutes later, the judge, they say y'all rise because the judge came back in and stuff, and he sits down. He says, please be seated. So we all sit down. So the judge is like, okay. He's like, I called your agency. He said, Mr. Hart, I called the agency. And I'm like, alright. He's like,
You're fucked right up the ass.
He said, according to the agency, there was never a case turned in for the custody that you filed. She's like, I turned it in. The judge's like, well, you can explain it to your office. He said, because they're not understanding what's going on. And he said, according to your office, they're not happy with you right now. He said, Mr. Hart, I can't change what happened, which we're fine with. He said, but, he said, hopefully the state will handle this in a different way. He says, but I also spoke with the state about a few things that I didn't like about this case. He said, the reason why she went to your home after they got served. He said the state isn't involved in the lawsuit. He said, I didn't understand why the state was here. He said the state doesn't understand why she's here today because they knew nothing about it. Anyway, the state is the state is like, I'm kind of aggravated right now. Or the judge is like, I'm aggravated right now. He said, I hate to see these child cases. He said, but he said, Mr. Hart, if you choose the option, he said, now hear me out. He said, if you choose this option, he said, I'm going to grant it. If you choose the option, that's what's up. He said, contact your attorney, speak with him. And he said, if you choose to do the custody, to go for the fight again with the parents over the child, he said, where you can have counseling. Because when you do it without an attorney, the judge listens to the attorneys. They don't listen to the people. And this judge knows that. But he's like, if you want to choose, the state lady was like, no, it's already been solved. The judge said, Mr. Hart, can you excuse me for a second? And I'm like, sure. He said, shut the hell up in my courtroom. Just like that, he said, you shut the hell up in my courtroom. He said, I'm going to tell you something. He said, you guys committed fraud, you screwed up, you lied. He said, and it's not happening here. He said, the guy did not get a this gentleman did not get a fair chance in this case. He said, you covered up every fair chance he had. He says, so he has the opportunity to redo it. So she's like, well, then what happens? So their attorney's like, what happens? He said, the child could be turned back over to him. He said, and I'm pretty sure the state, he said, I'm pretty sure in the outcome, she'll get turned over to him. If he chooses to do it. No. He's like, you choose not to? I said no. I said no, we're not going to put her through it again. Honestly, she made her own decisions too. She did choose to go back home, so. He said, okay. He says, well, you have 30 days to change your mind. Anyway, they now have to pay me. So,